All right, everyone. Welcome to episode 11. And I'm so pleased that I've completed my traffic patterns yesterday, my flight test after that horrible crash. And today we are going to do slow flight stalls and steep turns, which is something that we didn't do before and is part of the fundamentals of flying, I believe. Actually, it should be a precursor to good landings, because if you're able to do slow flight, or another, well, I could phrase it differently, flaring on a runway is much like a slow flight. That's why in the first lessons with your flight instructor, most of the time that is practiced, so that then the flaring and touchdown phase of your flight becomes much more easy. So we're a little bit behind the ball here, but that doesn't really matter. That's what we're going to do. And something special too is that we are in an experiment right now, because if everything is working right, my dad is now with us on Skype online. Dad, can you let us know if you're here?
I can hear you, but I don't have any visuals at the moment. He's still loading.
Oh, right, the stream. Okay, yeah, well, that's no problem. So
Mm,
just keep refreshing and wait until the stream starts,
Right.
and let me know if anything is not working, and we can figure it out.
Great.
Um, yeah, so that's what we're gonna do today. So I hope you enjoy. Let's go to the intro.
I'm passing through 500 Shamrock, 715.
715.134.125.
Okie doke. So what we're going to do is slow flight stalls and steep turns. We're also going to chat with my dad about Flight Simulator or whatever comes to mind. We don't have anything scripted, which might be a very fun thing to discover together, what we're going to talk about. But first, I would like to share with you some stuff that I learned. Based on the previous episode. So we're just going to chat a bit about those topics, and then we move into the flight and get going, because I'm really excited to fly. Also have a quick peek at the weather before we do our weather briefing, and it seems like okay weather. High cloud ceilings, so that's going to be cool. Although at the same time, if we are going to do some steep turns and special maneuvers, we need to stay clear of clouds, so perhaps we need to climb above that cloud ceiling. So we need to incorporate that in our flight briefing. But first up, part of the weather briefing, by the way, that we discussed earlier was that CI. I don't know if you remember, part of the area forecast. There was a CI mentioned in that METAR abbreviation code stuff. Well, Elias at the time said that might be cloud icing. Well, it is not. It means cirrus clouds. Those are actually different cloud types. There are many more of those two-letter abbreviations, alto, cumulus, and well, the whole bunch. So CI means cirrus clouds. So we're gonna view those weather brief charts or those area forecasts soon. So we might find more of those, but that's what they mean. Also, I've added again some new weather charts. It's really interesting stuff, I think, weather briefings. So I've added a few and also reordered some. So we're gonna talk about that too in just a moment. Also, what I mentioned during the previous in the previous episode when I did my landing was some confusion on my part whether the landing lights or the glide slope lights that we saw near the runway were PAPI lights or VASI lights. What's the difference between PAPI and VASI lights? So I looked that up, and very plainly, a PAPI light system is 4 lights horizontally ordered, while a VASI lights are vertically ordered. Well, they can be in groups of 2 horizontally, but then they are vertically aligned with the runway. So that's the most basic distinction between the two, and within the PAPI system or the VASI system there are different variations to how those lights are ordered, but that's the idea. Something I didn't find an answer to is taxiway direction, the way you the direction that you need to taxi to on taxiways. I guess it has to do with the taxi signs. If they are faced towards you, then well, that's the taxiway that you need to go to taxi on to get from A to B. But if you see the back of those signs, the black part of it, then that's something that you then that's a direction that you shouldn't follow. I guess that's the most basic way of knowing how to taxi around an airport. But still, here on Bakersfield 2, I'm not really sure on what taxiway I need to taxi towards the one-way, and I will show you in just a bit. Also showed you in the previous episode. So anyone who knows how that works, please let me know, because I'm not really sure about how that works. Well, that's about it, and I guess once we do our weather briefings and other stuff while we are flying, we might come across other stuff that is interesting to study. So, alrighty, let's switch to the browser. That is the stream already working or not?
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Okay, cool. So I'm now switching to the SkyVector map because the plan is for today to do practice flying, the slow flight and stalls and steep terms. So at Bakersfield now, we are currently about here. We need to find a safe practice area, which is always fun to do because it's more complex than you might think. It's not just looking for a clear area, but you should also consider the airways, other airspaces around, and well, also the departure and arrival routes. We had some discussion about that earlier at Oceano, right, when we search for that safe practice area, where we need to take into account other departure and arrival routes, and not just the airspaces or airways depicted on the sectional. So that's also the case here at Bakersfield. Let me have a look here what kind of practice area might be suitable for us. Well, first off, we are here, and as you can see, there are other uncontrolled airports in the neighborhood, so it is not a really good idea to fly in this area. Also, because if you look at Meadows here at the north of us, chances are that there are arrival and departure routes just along or in front or after these runways. So this is not at all a very good practice area. This would be a better one, or more to the south here, although then the terrain becomes an issue perhaps. We need to, I guess, stick to about 3,000, 4,000 feet AGL to do our special maneuvers. So yeah, terrain is an important factor to take into consideration. Here on the east side, we have the Bakersfield MOA, which we already talked about and discussed in one of the previous episodes. Has its floor, its base altitude at 2,000 AGL, I believe, if I remember correctly. But still, looking at the terrain here, I don't think that is a safe area to fly. We could also fly up north past Meadows and see if there's an area to do our practice. Well, again, you find a lot of uncontrolled airports. And also again some MOAs with military.
Tim?
Yeah, that's
we are flying probably above cloud level. Does that make a difference?
Well, we should. Well, when we need to fly above the cloud ceiling, I guess we are above 3,000 AGL.
Yeah.
And obviously also then in echo airspace. So it's very important for us to remain clear of clouds. So it's not only. So I just said that we could fly at 4,000 feet or 5,000 feet, but if the cloud ceiling is at 4,000, right, then we need to add another 1,000 at least of feet before we are clear of clouds. So yeah, that's something that we need to take into consideration too. So you're absolutely right. Also, looking at the weather briefing soon, perhaps there's some area where there are not that many clouds, right? And that is also a factor that we should take into consideration. So yeah, you're spot on. But first, let's look at the sectional. Yep.
In that respect, you might say the area and the mountains and so on don't matter that much.
Well, they do. Yeah, they are a part of the many different factors that we need to take into consideration, and weather is part of those. But you're absolutely right. Weather is very important for us to take into consideration. So let's hope that there's some space for us to get flying in. So a lot of activity here. So it's not really obvious where we can do our practice. Well, if I look at the sectional, my eye really sticks to the more southern part here. So in between Taft and that private airport south of Bakersfield, Paradise Lakes. But there's one issue there between those uncontrolled airports, because there is that military airway again. Right, and looking at the 4-digit number, Victor Romeo 1262, that 4-digit number already tells that that military air activity, which is, by the way, not only flying exactly on that airway line, but there's an 8 nautical mile band actually, so 4 nautical miles to the north and south of that line is in fact the airway where military air activity can be present. Guys are flying 400, 500 knots on an altitude of 1500 feet AGL up to, well, whatever. So that's also not a very great spot for us to do our special maneuvers. In the real world, though, you can contact center or approach or whatever, and to ask the air traffic controllers whether those military airways are active at our present moment. And, well, that could allow us for some time to do our practice in that area. But in PilotEdge currently, that is not possible. PilotEdge is not really online right now. We are on PilotEdge each and every time, but the air traffic controllers only start their service in about an hour or so. So that's also not a really great place for us to fly. So another one would be, I'm now going more to the west, is that spot where we, thank you for following, Boyington. Thank you, welcome on board. But that I don't know what you think. We could perhaps go to the east and back to that spot where I was looking for Taft the other day, but couldn't find it, between that valley, between those mountain ranges. Once the stream catches up, you might know where I'm pointing at that VOR of Fellows. And that might be a way to a spot for us to do our practice. Let me have a more overview look to see what other choices we have. Here is also mountain. No, I guess that's the way to go. Let me see. Yeah. I think, guys, that we need to go to this direction. The lake here at the military but here's also a military airway, so that's also not a really great spot to. I mean, it's hard to get a good practice area. This could also be one, but again, you're here at the MOA of Lemoore. We could have a look whether it is active and what its floor is. So let's go to the Legenda. What is it called? Lemoore. Lemoore. So MOAs. Let's have a look. Lemoore. Floor at 13,000. Right, so that gives us some leverage to fly in, because the floor, it starts at 13,000. Well, we're not going to fly at 13,000 feet, so that could work. 13,000 and the other one too. It's even higher up. So that is an option. Where were we? Here were we. So in fact, this entire area is safe for us to fly in, which is good. Dad, are you still online with us?
Yes,
What
I'm still online.
What do you think?
Well, I was just answering Boynton on a question he had for you.
Oh, right. Cool.
Yeah,
Thanks. But as a practice area, does it make sense? I don't know if you catched up to go up to Lemoore here on the north.
To go up north. Yeah.
Yeah. So we could track Avenal here, the Avenal VOR, which is near wonderful Pistachios, Elman's private airport. Wonderful name. And that could be the area where we could practice, because there is no military activity here, only to the east. I think that is a plan. So Avenal 117.1, we go up north, And then this area would be great. We're away from these uncontrolled airports and we can just stick around and do our stuff. Although this is a little more D and E, not C. So let me check D, E to make sure that those MOAs are not active. D and E. Aha, right, 5,000. Good that I rechecked. So there are more Lemurs, B, so the Bravo and Charlie, but the ones that we are concerned with are Delta and Echo. Right, so I need to stay focused here at a floor of 5,000. So we shouldn't exceed an altitude of 5,000, I guess AGL. Altitudes indicate a floor of MOA, all MOAs, but not include flight level up, charts.
Yep. Be careful because it's on a certain time limit. If you look at the
yeah,
charts.
that's true, but I guess we can do our special maneuvers below 5,000. I guess, but I'm now concerned whether these altitudes are AGL or MSL, because in some rows here in the legenda you can see AGL is depicted, and in other rows it isn't. So I guess where it isn't, that means MSL, which is okay. We can just use our altimeter setting, which is not a problem at all. And also, if we look at the terrain, it's not that high. It's not mountainous terrain, I believe. No, so that's great. So 5,000 is our max. That's our ceiling. So below 5,000 feet, we need to do our traffic plans. Well, I think the north is great. The Lemoore area. Agreed, Dad?
Yep.
Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Yeah. So let's look at the weather. If the weather allows us to fly up north, because that can also be trouble. So I'm now switching to the first general weather chart. I mean, we're always flying in active Skynex weather conditions or real world weather conditions, so it makes sense for us to do these briefings, which is very cool to me. Now, as you can see, we are around here, and there are no really severe weather conditions around. There's snow and rain here up north, but very up north, so that doesn't concern us. So prospects look good. Then a more detailed one. So this is again a surface analysis chart, but now with some more precipitation depictions. So I think this is a nice addition to our weather briefing. So you can see here chances of rain depicted here in different colors, but also snow or a mix. And again, you can see that it's confirming the previous chart. Rain is even north of San Francisco and not at all in our LA area. So again, looks good. Next up is the significant weather outlook. I love this chart. So again, this is 06 Zulu on the left. So that is, it's currently 14 Zulu. So that's, it was in the morning here in the Netherlands. Marginal VFR and also moderate or greater turbulence. But it's, I think that this 150 is indicating that turbulence was above flight level 150. I don't know for sure, but I guess that's the case. Now at 18 Zulu, that's the forecasted weather. So that's in about 4 hours. You can see that marginal VFR has moved up north. But there's still an indication here of turbulence, but I guess here at 120 flight level, so that's far above us, I believe. But we should check in the next slides. So again, looks good. Then the air mats. Current air mats, so these are not forecasts, but current weather conditions. Again, you can see the LA area, no air mats active. So no IFR, no other stuff here, so very good. Moving on, no convective SIGMAT, so no thunderstorms in this area. Then the general area forecast. You can see I've reordered these weather briefings, and I think they make sense and are very interesting to learn more about. So Central California, this is always a little bit of difficult James Bond-like code, but I'm trying to get a hold of what this means. So Southern California, coastal broken 3,000 tops at 5,000. Well, we're not really at the coasts, but still becoming scattered at 3,000 and skies clear at 2100. Outlook VFR inland, skies clear, outlook VFR. So that's the main part of it. In the desert, sky clear, outlook VFR, outlook VFR. Again, confirms our previous charts, but it's good to have a more general description here of what is going on. So again, good weather for private pilots like us. Then the ceiling of clouds. Again, we need to ensure cloud separation, enough cloud separation in echo airspace or even other airspace, controlled airspaces. So that's important for us to consider. So as you can see here, it's a tiny chart. I would love to have a higher resolution version of this, but I couldn't find it. Here is the LA area, and here in the north there's Bakersfield. We're in the darker green, slightly lighter green, so that's 6,000. So let's say 3,000 cloud ceiling. Well, if we just very quickly switch back to the cockpit, that kind of confirms what we're seeing here at Bakersfield. So chances are that's cloud ceiling, but we're going to listen to ADA soon, is at around 3,000 feet. Switch back. So that's also good, right? VFR weather, VMC. Then visibility I've added. Also forecast, which is interesting. Also, what kind of time zone were we looking at here? This was 18 Zulu. And here at the visibility chart, we're looking at 06, which doesn't make sense. So I should change that in the future. Let's look at the 15. Well, that was just an hour ago. We can see some visibility issues here, 6 miles, but these are much more up north. 18 Zulu. And it seems to evaporate that visibility. So we are around, but still we're around 6 miles of visibility. Perhaps even 3 to 5. So that is marginal VFR-like. So in terms of clouds, we are totally VFR, but in terms of visibility, it seems marginal VFR. I think this is really helpful. It doesn't really prevent or limit our flight at this moment, but it gives a very detailed idea of what you can expect once we take off. So looks good. Then air turbulence I've also added. Very interesting. So you can, I don't know if you guys can see it. Let me check. Yeah, you guys can see the menus here. So you can put in what kind of aircraft you are. Heavy, light, medium. Well, we are light. And this is the altitude of the turbulence. Well, let's say we're around 3,000. Because we're not going to exceed that 5,000 limit, right, of that MOA, of Lemoore. And then you can have an idea of where the turbulence is. Well, there is virtually none, but you can see some here at Santa Barbara, so a little bit more south of Bakersfield, which confirms one of the earlier charts that we've seen. I thought I saw that in, let me check, guys, where were we? Here, right? So here at 18 Zulu on the right side, you can see here this orange area, moderate or greater turbulence. Well, we can see that too here at the turbulence charts. Right, so that's cool. It confirms it's you are developing a more coherent weather condition, well, visualization here. Next up, also one that I've added or improved on. This is a looped animation of the current condition. So you can see here cloud is coming in from the ocean, as always here on the west coast. But there's a better one. I mean, this is visible clouds. I love this one more. This is an infrared picture. So then you can see really the density of those clouds and infer where the thunderstorms are or where chances are that you find turbulence or that stuff. Well, again, this is far on the ocean. Doesn't concern us. You can see here Santa Barbara and Bakersfield. There is some cloud coverage there, but nothing really severe. Cool. We're getting, we're becoming weather experts here, which is really awesome, I think. Then the mosaic radar, confirming not a lot of stuff going on, and finally wind speeds are on the ocean, not at all at Bakersfield. Makes sense. So the most important part here is combining our planned flight, which is the practice flight up to north to Lemoore, with the question or the comment that my dad made before, cloud ceiling, right? So, okay, in terms of airspace, we have room here to do our practice flights from service up to 5,000 MSL, feet MSL, but we need to remain clear of clouds. So what kind of options do we have? So if we look at the ceiling forecast, where it is, visibility, oh, I just clicked it away. Cloud ceiling. Here it is. chances are we're going to watch Ada soon or listen to Ada soon. It's around 6,500 perhaps in the most worst case scenario. So that doesn't give us much room. So we should remain clear of clouds, at least 500 feet below the clouds. So our ceiling would be 2,500, right? Well, 2,500 is still an altitude that we can do the maneuvers. Preferably we would go higher. But looking at the weather, combining that with the terrain, I think that 2,500 would be our altitude to fly on. Yeah, that is going to be our flight. 2,500 feet up north, under Lemoore, MOA. That's where we're going to do our practice flights. Well, I think this is awesome, this flight planning. Do we need a NOTAM? Well, let's just do it because I always do. View NOTAMs, I guess we get the same light. Yeah, so nothing changed here. So the obstacle lights are out of service, and that helicopter NOTAMs here. And we don't need a flight plan. It's not really a cross-country flight, so we are fine. Boom. Okay, that's it. So we did our weather briefing. I guess we can start. Dad, are you ready to fly?
Absolutely.
Cool. So let me sip of tea. Yeah, so let me do our cold and dark check. So that I'm going to try to do this again by heart. And once I finish the reset cabin, my dad has the checklist too, the student checklist. So he's looking or following me along and correct me if I'm making mistakes here, which is very, very helpful. So, but that I will like to do this on my own, this first part of the reset cabin, and after I completed it, let me know if I forgot about anything.
Parenting is letting go, eh?
Right. Let me try that. Yeah, my first baby steps here. Okay, here we go. So, TrackIR.
Tim, again, there's a remark that 2,500 is now no good.
Oh, why?
Lenore Mo says MSL is 3,300.
Let me see. That's Flight Sim Expert. 2,500 no good. Lenore Moa says MSL is 3,300. Let me see. Lemoore Delta. Sorry, guys. I will flip to the chart. Again, what am I missing? Lemoore Delta, Lemoore Echo, MOA. That's the one that is we need to take into consideration. Then we go to the legenda. Lemoore Delta is 5,000.
Is that the same Lemoore?
That's the same Lemoore.
Yeah,
I don't see another Lemoore. It's a MOA, right? Yeah, it's a MOA. So, Flight Sim Expert, am I missing something, or I think it's 5,000. NOTAM, is there something else here that I'm missing? No, these are just dates and times. I think we're right. So please refer me to something that I'm missing here. Perhaps it's on the sectional itself.
Oh, it's okay. He says it's okay.
Oh, it's okay. Okay, cool. So we're right. Thank you for checking and being trusty co-pilots. That's something I really like. Okay, so let's switch back. Cold and dark checks that. Here we go. So TrackIR is back on. First off, I would like to know if my pitot heat. Yeah, I didn't put a cover on last time, I think, because it isn't on right now. Also, no tie downs. Did I do my tie? Did I forget to do my tie downs last time? Well, it's good that they are off because they should. Control wheel lock removed. Then parking brake is set. Live vest, fire extinguisher. I should first. No, the door can be remained open. Windows open. ELT set to auto. Cabin air and defrost is also set. Flaps are up. A lever mixture prop. Throttle is good. Tank is to the left. Cowl flaps are closed, which is good. Elevator trim is set to take off. The avionics are all set. Transponder set to standby. Everything is off. Then the static air is off. Then the lights are all off except for the beacon. Batteries are off and the ignition switch is set to off. And that completes the reset cabin. Did I forget anything, Dad?
The alternative is static air pressure.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mentioned that. That's the red lever. Yeah, I did. Yeah. Anything else?
Nope.
Cool. Okay, so cold and dark. Then we can do the exterior check. So that's the light. Well, not the walk around, but well, it's actually in the interior. It's called the pre-flight interior checks. So let's do that. I'll disable TrackIR for a moment. So batteries are on. Bloop. They are on. We've got enough fuel, I guess, to make this flight. We should take that into consideration too. We've got about 19 gallons plus 12 gallons. Well, that's more than enough to do our practice flight, so that's good. Landing lights on, taxi lights on, strobe lights on, nav lights on, beacon light was already on, and the pitot heat on. Then we switch to the outside view. I'm going to have a look whether those lights are actually physically on. So in front of the airplane here, let's have a look. Yeah, taxi light, landing light on, navigation lights on, strobe light is on, also on the other side of the wing. Beacon light is, yeah, it's on. Then we go to the tail. Position light here is on, and we move up to the stall warning sound. There it is. Somehow I cannot hear it myself, but on stream you guys probably do hear. I don't know why. And the pitot heat, obviously. Let's see if it's warm, and it is warm. That's the, yeah, I guess that's so. This, I click this away. Oh, no, away. And then I turn off everything. So landing lights on, off, except for beacon, and the pitot heat off. Then we move on to the avionics. So avionics on, then the flaps down. Watch if they go down in sync. There they go, and they seem to go down in sync. Meanwhile, autopilot is on. We heard the sound and the illumination. Standby is good. Then the annunciators look good. Test whether the panel actually works. And that's good. Cooper deck, what about wheels and checking the fuel? Well, that's in the exterior walk around in just a bit. So we're now testing whether the internal systems are actually working. And part of the internal check is looking at the lights to see if those are working. And then we need to check on the outside. So might be a bit confusing, but that's the idea. Annunciator pedal is working. Well, we can... well, we would reset the altimeter in just a sec based on ADIS because we're going to fly outside of the traffic pattern area. This is all good. Clock is all good. Fuel gallons is good. And I guess that was about it. So now I can switch off the avionics and I can switch off the battery. Dad, review.
Yeah, no, complete.
Complete, cool.
Still another remark from one flight sim expert.
Right.
About 3.3. You see the 3.3 through right on the map.
I just saw the 3.3 on the chart. You see the 3.3 right? Oh, let me check. That's about the MOA, I guess.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Let's have a look at the charts. 3.3 on the right. Oh, this one. I guess he means the blue one, the 3.3, but that has nothing to do with the MOA. That's the highest elevation point. Oh, but that's the...
No, yeah.
No, but that's something else. Yeah, it's blue, but it isn't related to the MOA, but it's related to the highest altitude measured in this section. So I guess it's this rectangular section. So I guess that's this point in the lowest corner here to the east. And there should be, you can already see here, 2,925. So I guess that's where that 330 comes from. But it has not anything to do with the MOA. MOA has its own description in the legenda. This is just basic terrain. Still, though, it is a good remark because it, although it doesn't relate to the MOA, it should be of a concern because if the terrain is, if some part of the terrain is at 3,300, then we could be trapped between that MOA on top of us and the terrain, which could be at 3,300, and then we are in big trouble. So it's good to take into consideration that 3.3, but it doesn't relate to the MOA, but just the general terrain. So that's the idea. But thank you for thinking along, Flight Expert.
It might be that terrain height is on the left top of the.
No, not the left top, left bottom. As you can see on the
sorry.
sectional, you can already see it, 2925. So I guess this would be 330, or the FAA just adds another 500 to make sure that you remain clear of that altitude. So no, I think it's on the left bottom. Cool. Okay, so I completed the interior sector, so we know that our systems are working. Now we're going to do the exterior pre-flight. So what I'm going to do now is go outside. Where's my window? Here it is. And let's go. So we're going to skip that pitot heat because we already did that. Baggage door. It is closed. Tail. Tie down is removed. Close look to the elevator. Man, I'm so focused on the elevator after that crash. So bolts are all in. No other weird stuff going on. Here you can see it's connected, which just looks good. This is okay. Let's do the wiggle of the elevator tab, trim tab here, which is good. And we could also, just for the sake of our own checks, have a look here at the antennas, which looks good. And we can, well, we should make sure that they are secure. Okay, here we are. Let's move on. The flaps, let's see if they wiggle. They wiggle. And we can see if the hinges are okay. They are okay. Then the ailerons on the right side, we can move, and we should check the hinges right now, but we use the picture. They look great. Awesome. Moving to the front of the airplane. So tie down is removed, fuel vent is clear. Chocks are removed. Let's drain the fuel, no contamination. Gallons, 15. Confirms. Again here, we could turn on TrackIR to have a look here at the different antennas. Again, just for the sake of understanding, nav antennas, ELT, so that's the emergency locator transmitter. These are the COM radios, GPS. I guess this is the outside air temperature reading, and well, there's some on the belly of the airplane that we're going to check in just a moment. Move on. Static air, clear. Drain on the belly, no contamination. Again here we can check here the outtakes. Oh yeah, I should have opened the cowl flaps. I don't know, I guess as part of this checklist item, because otherwise I cannot check the cowl flaps inside. So let's just flip using my simple Saitek panel here. See if these are secure and free, nothing in there. Also looking at the antennas here, transponder antenna, no, it was the ADF. This is the ADF. This is the transponder. That's the marker beacon. That's the storm scope. Make sure that they are still there, not damaged, which they aren't. Then move up to the front of the airplane. Make sure that the blades are, the leading edge of the blades are intact, no dents. Well, that's not simulated here in Flight Sim, but let's just pretend that we check. We check that. Intakes are clear, no bird's nests, other stuff. Filter, it's good. Oil, between 9 and 6, good color. That's static air on this side. It's clear. Gallons on the other side of the wing is good. Again, fuel grain, no contamination. Chocks have removed. No tie down. We checked the stall warning already. Fuel vent is clear. Here, aileron looks good. Let's check out the hinges here. They look good too. And finally, the flaps wiggle, and let's see, and the hinges look good too. And that should complete the exterior pre-flight. Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yep.
So this is getting, this is really getting into a good flow here. So that's good. Okay. So that means that we do not need to visit the maintenance hangar, which is a good thing, and then we can start with the before engine starts. So again, the briefing, very short in terms of flight. We're currently at Bakersfield. That is this little nice, cute airport. Let me see where we are. Where are we? Here we are. Here, this uncontrolled airport below Meadows. What we're going to do is we're going to take off based on ATIS soon. Let's check Meadows. ATIS 310 at 3. So that's winds calm, so it doesn't really matter on which side of the runway we take off from. But that's good. And ceilings, overcast 4,900. That's perfect. And no other stuff that we need to take into consideration. Well, becoming... Oh no, this was the previous one. It was... Yeah, I cannot go with my mouse cursor there, but in the second line there shows what the weather was, I guess, some time ago. So that isn't a concern to us. You can use that information to get a more developing idea, an idea of how the weather developed or is developing, but that's fine. VFR, we're good. So what we're going to do is depart. Let's go from the south, so runway 34. And depart on the left crosswind lag. So to the east, fly all the way around here, and let's catch that VOR beacon, Avenal 117.1. We're going to track that one up to that Lemoore MOA, keep below 5,000, but below the cloud ceiling 2, which we expect would be at around 3,000. So we our ceiling is 2,500. We can do some special maneuvers there, so some slow flight, stall, steep turns, and then we go back again to Bakersfield and land. That's the idea. How are we going to go back? Well, we can fly an outbound radial in the same direction. I guess the direction would be 09, a little bit more, I guess 100 or so, 100. Yeah, and a thing that we should be concerned about is there's a military airway here, but we're not going to cross that, so that's okay. So I guess the delta airspace that we need to avoid. That's the that's the most important bit, and that's the flight, which is cool. Looking forward to this flight. That's the briefing. Other stuff that we need to discuss has to do with the IMC VMC conditions. Winds, we're going to taxi to the left here, 3-4, and all other stuff we already mentioned, I guess. Then I will do my brake test. Yeah, so let's do that. And I need to do, that's what I need to do, fasten my seatbelts, because now we are about to start our we're about to start our engine. So that's first. Close the door, obviously.
Yeah.
There we go. Windows can remain open. So now we are there. Then I can release the parking brakes and check whether my brakes are working. They are firm. Reset my parking brakes and make sure that everything is okay. Lights, beacon light is on. That's the only one, which is good. And fuel tank should be set to both. And cowl flaps are open.
Yep.
And that's it, right?
And checking avionics master off.
Oh yeah, and avionics master off. Yeah, that's an important one. I looked at the displays here, but that's an important one. Yeah, and it is off. Here on my Saitek panel, I guess virtually also. Yeah. Right. So that's the before engine start. So now we can start our engine. Makes sense, right? So let's have a look. We turn on the batteries. They are on. We put our throttle at 1/4 inch. Make sure that our parking brakes are set. They are set. Hand on the mixture. And let's prime our engine. So fuel pump, 3 to 5 seconds. Mixture forward. 1, 2, 3. And cut off. I love the way how A2A simulates that very minor fuel flow when you do the check. I mean, it's really realistic. It's awesome. Then hand on the mixture. Other hand on the ignition switch. Make sure that the propeller area is clear, and it is. Well, I just keep on the parking brake. That's fine. Let's go. Clear prop. There it goes. Full mixture. 1200 RPM. Oil pressure rises within 30 seconds to the green. which is okay. Generator on, so we see a charge on the battery, which is good. Then we lean for max RPM, so then make sure to see that drop. There it is. We set our RPM to 1000. Retract the flaps. There they go, again in sync. Turn on the avionics. There we are. We can set the transponder to on because we're on ground now. This is all fine, 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 fine. And then we can set our comm radios. Yeah, so that's something that we need to consider too. So currently we are at Bakersfield. Let's have a quick look at the sectional. Again, Bakersfield is here. Let's zoom in. 122.8. Right, so let's see if that is in. It is in on COM 1. Do we need a COM 2? Well, we might, because we're going to fly here around some other uncontrolled airports. There's a private one here. There's Lost Hills, which is not a private airfield, and chances are that some pilots might be flying there. So as we're going to cross that airfield, it makes sense to tune in on that frequency as we're doing our practice flights there. So 122.9 is what we're going to set our standby frequency. 122.9.
You can probably follow the 5 around the Highway 5. Just
yeah,
going
good one. Yeah, so in terms of PilotEdge, we can do that. Yeah, runway 5 of Highway 5 here. Yeah, that's a good one. We didn't discuss that, right? I'm only using VOR radio navigation, but not visual navigation. There's also a big river system here going up north, so that's also something that we can look for. Yeah, that's good feedback. That yeah. So left, we can follow that highway, but we're going to tune in on that navigation. That's next up. So that's 117.1. Let me see. That's nav 117.1. 117.1. Put that in. No reading yet, as you can see, but that will be fine once we take off. And I guess that the radial towards Evenal would be something like 280. So let's put that already in. Prepare as much as you can. 270. Something like this. Okay. And heading buck is set. And let me see. We set that. Navigation, nothing to do here. Engine is not warm yet, so low RPM. I guess this completes it, I believe.
Yeah, only thing you have to do is to log your navigation.
Oh, the navigation log. Yeah, I'm not using that. I will in when I do my cross country flights. So to make sure that my planned flight is carried out correctly. Yeah, that's something I'm going to do in the future episodes when I'm going to do more short flights. Yeah. Okay, so that's completed, Dad?
Yeah, it's completed. You still have to have a clearance, huh?
Yeah, but we're now on an uncontrolled airport, so there's no tower here.
Okay.
But once we're going to visit or depart from towered airports, then obviously, yeah, that's something that we need to do. And then also we get a transponder if we are in or squawk Oak when we are in a Charlie airspace. So that's the idea. Hey Stephen, welcome on the channel. Yeah, so that completes. So we can start taxi and start taxi to 3-4 and then take off. That's the idea. So let's release the parking brakes. Then as soon as we roll, check the brakes. Haha. I'm remembering. That looks good. Then we gonna park here or turn to the left. So we see the slip indicator, turn indicator move, which is good. Also the heading indicator moved. What is it reading? Yeah, it's reading. Okay. Let me see what the taxiway is. It's not that one, but it's the next one. Slow RPM because our engine is not really that warm. And let's catch on this taxi lane. Weather isn't really bad. It's good. Now, do we need crosswind or soft field correction? No, not soft field because we're taxiing on the pavement, and winds are very calm, so it's not that necessary. What we forgot about something, Dad. You skipped that too. It is the ADAS. We didn't listen to ADAS, so we don't know the altimeter setting.
When should you have done that? I'm looking at the checklist now.
5,000. 3019er. I guess it's on the checklist. It's before the before taxi checklist. It's somewhere there. Listen to ADAS. Let me see.
Yeah, it's a blue on the blue line.
Yeah.
Now I can see it. Yeah, you're right.
Here we go. Some way to taxi before we reach 3-4. But hey. I am so much looking forward for A2A to develop a twin-engine general aviation aircraft. That would be cool. Once I've got my instrument rating in Flight Simulator, that would be a nice upgrade. So as you can see on the altimeter right now, that would translate into a airport elevation of about 390 feet. Let's check on very quickly while I'm taxiing, which is not a very good thing to combine, but 378 is the airport elevation here of Bakersfield. Switch back to the cockpit. 378. Yeah, that's about right. Always a good check to make sure you didn't misheard the ADAS. I guess after this flight we should visit the fuel pump to refuel. Also, what is catching my eye is the fact that our right wing is consuming more fuel than the left one. And while it isn't really that much of a difference, it will in terms of weight. So our left wing is actually more heavy than the right one, and especially because I'm the only pilot here currently in the airplane, then the left side becomes much more heavy. So it might be there might be a left turning tendency once we take off. So to counter that, you could switch now the fuel tank to the right side, which we can do, but I'm kind of curious to see whether that left tendency would be there when we fly. Again, engine is getting warm, cylinder head temperature is not really in the green yet, and the oil temperature also isn't. And that's important because before we do our run-up, that should all be in the green. Because otherwise we damage the engine. Okay.
Tim, did you do your yoke corrections?
Not yet. It's at the run-up.
Okay.
Which I find strange, by the way. I don't know how what you think about that, but I would, as a pilot, I would do that as part of the pre-flight, because if I found anything mechanically not working with my flight controls, then I would like to fix it there and not taxi all the way back from the run-up to the hangar to fix it if I...
Yeah.
So I don't know why in all checklists, in most checklists at least, that flight control check is part of the run-up and not part of the pre-flight.
On your checklist, it's part of the taxi to runway part.
Is it?
Yeah.
Let me see. No, it's part of the run-up. It's not.
Oh, not on this one.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
It's part of number 12, checklist 12.
No, here it's 11.
Ah, that's perhaps it's a duplicate. Good one. Let me see. Here we are at the run-up area. Cylinder head temperature in the green. Oil temperature is about in the green. Oh, that was a little bit too much differential braking on my part. So let's turn like so. Blast way is away from the taxiway. Park and brake set. 1,000. Let's allow our oil temperature to rise a bit because it's not in the green yet. Something that we need to do. Ground operations, that's all fine, so we can just stick here. Okay, let me check the checklist again. Where is it? 11.
Yeah.
So at your checklist, Dad, at 11 it says flight control check at the.
So that's crosswind yoke correction and soft field yoke correction.
Yeah, but that's not the flight control check. That's just correcting for winds or for taxiing on the grass. That's not that's not the flight control stuff. And I already mentioned before we started, just after we started the taxi, that currently on Bakersfield we're taxiing on pavement, right? So the soft wheel correction isn't applicable, and the crosswind is winds calm. So we only have about 3 knots or so. So those are not really not really necessary. That's the idea.
And the temperatures in the green, is that a part of the checklist as well? Because
in the 12, what sublist? Yeah, obviously, yeah. So we're currently at the run-up. What we could do in a towered airfield, and I've already mentioned it in the student checklist too, is it would be wise now as part of the run-up to already switch to tower, because now you can monitor tower and have a mental idea as you're doing your run-up checks of what other pilots might be in the traffic pattern. Right, so you already gain some situational awareness rather than sticking to ground and not having an idea until you do your takeoff announcement. But here on an uncontrolled airport we don't have a tower frequency, so that's why. So I'm now waiting for the oil temperature to rise, and it's there, so we can do our run-up. Okay. So parking brakes are set, blastway is okay, we should close our windows. I forgot about that last time, which I'm going to do now. Okay, let's do mixture full, prop is full, fuel tanks are to both, yeah. Cowls are open, cowl flaps are open, let's go to 1800. There we are, no annunciator messages here, which is good. Everything seems stable, oil pressure is stable. Let's do our magneto check. Let's go to the left one. Small drop is good. Back to both. Right, looks good too. Then landing lights on to see if we see a small charge or discharge. Yeah, we see, so that's working too, the generator. And I totally forgot about my flow. Then we did that, then we can do the prop check. So RPM. Yeah, so that's a cue that the governor is working. Then manifold pressure. Thank you for following. Welcome on board. And it's a slight rise, also confirms. And then lastly, the oil pressure. Small dip and resets to the green. Okay, cool. Prop is working. Again, no annunciator stuff. Then we go to idle, which we rarely do during flight. No annunciator messages. Oil pressure is still in the green, stable. Looks good. So reset to 1000, and that completes the run-up.
Shouldn't you lean from maximum RPM?
Well, that we could, but as we would do our takeoff roll in just a moment, that wouldn't really be necessary. But well, we could, but we should remember to put it in full mixture, full rich setting before we do our takeoff. Obviously.
Okay. And what is the moment where you look at your compass to check that?
Yeah, it's part of the once your engine is started, I think that's part of, and I already did that very quickly. Also, you can do that once you do the run up on the runway 3-4. You can check whether your heading indicator syncs. But we could do that right now too another time. So the magnetic compass, it's about 39, something like 39. Which corresponds to our heading indicator, so it's in sync. Heading buck is set. We are ready for takeoff, I think. So let's turn our transponder to altitude. Mixture full. Landing lights on. Strobe lights on. Fuel tank is both. Elevator trim. I put a little bit more nose down. And we are ready to go. Did I forget anything? Windows are closed.
You are at 13 at the moment.
I'm currently at the
cabin doors closed. Seatbelts
before takeoff. Yeah, before takeoff. That's where we are right now.
You checked your seatbelts?
Yep.
Fuel
Yep.
tank selector,
Yeah, we did.
cowl flaps,
Yeah, we did.
elevator rudder trim,
Yeah.
the flaps,
Yeah, we don't need. I don't gonna use those.
mixture,
We
propeller,
already did that in clock
transponder.
view. We can set
Yeah,
the clock.
and the briefing.
Yeah.
You checked if there is no traffic in the pattern.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. I'm gonna do my 360 here. So, park and brake released. Let's do a 360 here and have a look, because not hearing anyone on radio doesn't mean no one is flying in the traffic pattern, even on PilotEdge. I don't see anyone. Cool. Okay, so let's go. Bakersfield traffic, Skyline Papa Hotel Tango New Mike is departing runway 34 for a crosswind departure to 2,500 feet Bakersfield. Okay. Driving up on the center line here. 3-4, compass, heading indicator is aligned. Let's go. Didn't do my flight control checks.
Mm-hmm.
So we forgot about that item. Full throttle, engine is in the green. Rotate, there we go, put in that right rudder. Go to VY. Good job. So we're sloppy. You too, Dad. My gosh, you're my co-pilot. We forgot about several items. I mean, it's just part of it's just casual. It's too casual.
I try to follow you on the checklist, but it's a challenge.
Yeah, well, for me too, to do it by heart. But I guess when we're now not really working together that. Let me make that turn to the left. Crosswind. It's clear. Let's keep on climbing. Bakersfield traffic, Skyline Papa Hotel Tango New Mike is departing crosswind 3-4 to 2,500 to the east. Bakersfield. If we would do the checks item for item, then that would fix the problem.
Yeah, right.
So it's just part of our
experiment.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so here we go. Oh, we went to the east. We're not going to the east, we're going to the west. There's meadows.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So you should re-enunciate, I think.
Yeah, I should. Bakersfield traffic, Skyline Papa Hotel Tango Mike is departing the traffic area of Bakersfield to the west, up to 2,500 Bakersfield. Again, we're coming up to 2,500, but as you can see, the cloud ceiling is much higher, 5,000 as we heard on the ATIS, so that's good. Let's level off, and we can remove that rudder. You can see the VOR is already active, the radio. So, well, that's a little bit too...
And there's the i5 as well, downstairs.
Oh, let me see. Can I already see it? Well, let me do my checks first. Like so. Let's see our manifold pressure now. It can be a little bit more high, like so. Then prop set to 2,100. The mixture. Yeah, we got a bit in. Let's look at that AGT. Good, and now we can start to trim a bit, because I'm pushing on that yoke. Trim down, trim down, trim down. Where's that highway?
I saw it already on the right.
You already saw it on the right.
Yeah.
Okay, but
So
it should go from left to right, based on our we're heading, I guess. Let me see. Admiral, thank you for following. We're descending a bit. You already saw it on the right.
Haven't you crossed it already on the right side? Is that one? Yeah?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't think so. Oh, it's already... We're flying along, I guess. Let me check the... No, we're not... We shouldn't fly along with it. If I look at the... sectional, we should just fly at a 90 degree towards it.
Yeah, right. And then go right.
Yeah, so it isn't that highway, I guess. A bond. Welcome aboard. Thank you guys, that's encouraging. So, we left the traffic pattern, so landing lights off, strobe lights off. We can close the cowl flaps. Let's do that. We leaned, we did our prop. We have good fuel flow. Right, Tim. Good RPM setting. Everything's in the green. High EGT. That's good. And we wait until we see that that highway. And we wait until that radial comes in. It's already creeping in on us. That 280 radial. So again, you can see the benefit of using PilotEdge and radio navigation at the same time. So we're flying the right direction. Also, weather looks great, guys. I see some blue sky here. Not really overcast anymore.
Tim, Boomflare suggests strobe lights off.
Yeah, already did so. Already did.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Good tip. Anything else on the climb checklist? Or actually, we're already at cruise. So.
Yeah, right. Pilot heat.
Yeah, we don't need.
Navigation launch. Yeah, night west.
Yeah. So en route climb we already did, and then the cruise throttle is all set. Mixture, manifold pressure, reject, cylinder temperature, cover. Yeah. Landing lights we did off. Engine gauges we checked. Pitot heat. Altimeter resets. Yeah.
Setting indicator. Yeah.
It's good. It's good. But Dad, imagine when we're gonna fly. Perhaps I should introduce yourself. What is your so you've got a great flight simulator at home. I know, obviously. Tell the guys a bit about what your interest is in flight simulator and what you love to fly in flight sim.
Yeah, guys. My name is Frank. I'm Tim's dad, and we started flying when Tim was 8 years old, just on a small PC. And did some circuits on Mac's field, and I was so glad to see that ORBX has redesigned Mac field, and you can download it now and put it in their basic world scenery, which is great. I just did that and had some fun yesterday again, along with some old memories coming on. And I remember Tim doing his first circuit there. Now I've got a Boeing 738 cockpit at home. I like pulling on knobs. I'm not as deep into it as Tim is, who was really trying to get his IFR. But I love flying there, and it's really relaxing. So I can recommend it. And maybe this year I will follow Tim in going also to Prepared. Yeah.
Right. Good. Awesome. So you're an airliner flight simulator pilot.
I am.
So I'm creeping on here on the radial, 280 radial, something about that, but I'm making my turn too early. Let's see how far we are away. 42 nautical miles from our practice area. So I guess we have misinterpreted the distance from Bakersfield to our practice area, Dad.
Mm-hmm.
It's 42 nautical miles.
And what does that mean for the fuel?
Well, and what does that mean for our time? I mean, I don't have all day to fly to that practice
Oh,
area.
right.
So, so perhaps we can change our plans. Let me turn off TrackIR here for a bit. So, let's switch to. No, let's keep our frequencies on. Let's switch back to that sectional here. So we are now flying, I guess, around here. Here's the Avenal beacon. So we're now on that track 280 inbound to that VOR beacon, and we planned to do our practice area here. We thought, oh, that's a brief and basic flight. But now when I look at the DME, it's a 40 nautical mile flight. It's a big one, which is stupid. So that
be careful, Tim. You're climbing slightly.
Oh yeah. Come on. I will trim a bit. Not really that important because we're still below that VFR altitude, but still should be careful. So instead, what we can do is, because then this area is much more larger than I think in my mind, so there's much more room to do our traffic, our practice maneuvers. I guess even in between here, Lost Hills and Elk Hills, So we can do them pretty much any time, I guess. There's a lot of distance between those airports, so even though I liked our flight planning, I don't have a feel for distance on the sectional chart. Again, a PilotEdge discovery or remark here. I mean, PilotEdge is much more difficult than I initially thought it would be.
Which is important for your fuel consumption,
yeah, obviously, the distance. Yeah. So I can see the highway here. Let me make a turn to the left here. I have an idea of what the distance is. Keep on that altitude. So in today's flight I would like to practice steep turns, slow flight and stalls. Now as the cloud seeding is much more high up than we initially thought through our briefing, and we're not going to fly all the way up to that Lemoore MOA, we could just decide to stick around here and do our practice maneuvers, and then we have much more room to climb. So I'm actually going to climb up. So let's go to a climb setting. So
you can see the I-5 on the left.
Yeah. I already noticed. Yeah. So I guess before you do your climb, you should do your GUMS check. So full in prop and full in mixture. But now did afterwards. There we go. So let's get that climb in. Let's go to 3,500 or something like that. We should remain clear of clouds, 500 feet below clouds at minimum. So we're now flying along that highway, which is on the left of us. Again, I'm looking at the sectional to see if anything weird could be going on. No. So that's good. Oh, keep in that climb. And I see some traffic in the distance. Over the nose. So let's steer away of that a bit. Again, looking outside of the window is very important. Night Gunner, welcome. Thank you for following. Welcome on board. There it goes. Perhaps as part of the special maneuvers here, of the steep turns and stuff that we're going to do, it's probably good practice just to turn on our taxi lights. Also, boom, I already mentioned that to Boom Flare with other guys. I turn off my strobe lights after I left the traffic pattern, and those guys were actually absolutely right. Your strobe lights should remain on the entire time of your flight, except for on ground. So I put them on again. We're at 3,500. So again, pull a bit back on the throttle. We've got a good. That's a bit too much, I guess. A little bit more power. Prop set to about 2,100. But again, if we're going to do our steep turns, we need to do full mixture and full prop again. But yeah. But that was traffic. And it's now to the left of us. Again, you can see the visibility, right, that we already seen in the weather briefing. It's not that good, about 6 miles or so. I'm around a lake here, or a bigger kind of reservoir or anything like that, and that was the same one that we crossed last time when we went from Taft to Bakersfield. So that would be a good reference for us, perhaps, to do some flights over to keep on that around this area. So that should we just do our maneuvers here, I guess, because otherwise
yeah.
It's a very long flight. Okay, so guys, first off, let's do a power on stall. So full power, but like much more. Oh, we're in rain. It's raining. Awesome. Well, it doesn't really much concern to us, although I kind of worried that the whole place starts to fog up and we are trapped in IMC. But anyway, let's do a power on stall. Well, I don't know what the right procedure is, but let's try. Full prop, full mixture. I should have turned off, pulled on the throttle first, because otherwise I can overspeed the RPM. There we are. So let's go to a climb setting. Here we go. Now let's overpull. And I think I should just go like this, allow the airspeed to bleed off. Oh man, this is scary. Let me do. There goes the airspeed. A little bit more. Let's see what this skylane does. Use our rudder instead of the ailerons, I believe. Or otherwise we might die. Oh, there we go, there we go, there we go, there it creeps. Let's hear that stall warning, guys. There it goes, come on. There it is. And keep it there. So we might hear the stall sign, but we're not going to into a spin. Got. Oh, that's too much. A lot of right rudder here. Keep on beeping. Keep on beeping, you sucker. I've got it under control, I guess. A full on power. Okay, and let's recover. Nose down.
Should be great to see an outside view now.
Yeah. There's theft in the distance. I can see it on 1 o'clock. Allow the airspeed to come in, throttle back. Cool. Let's tune in on theft because we're nearby to make sure that we don't. Let me see. Click theft is 1 to 2.8.
Stay away from the clouds, eh?
Yep. Good one. 1 to 2.8. It's still 1 to 2.8, so that's good. Yeah. Theft traffic, Skyline Papa Hotel Tango, India. Mike is doing practice turns, steep turn stalls around 10 miles northeast of the airport at 5,000 feet. Theft. Makes sense to do an announcement here so the guys know that what we're doing. Okay, let's do a steep turn. Let's do a steep turn to the right. Well, actually, in the real world, and I should also do in Flight Sim, is make clearing turns first to make sure no one is flying behind us or around us.
Is there a plane, Tim, coming up?
Where?
See a white spot just in front of you.
Oh yeah, no, that's the puppy lights, I guess, from Taft.
Oh, right.
That was the airport, but let me make sure. That's not a clearing turn. Obviously, I shouldn't look in the direction of my turn. I should look the opposite direction.
Yeah, left. Yeah.
So again, making a turn to the right to make sure. Yeah, but that's weird because now. Yeah, there's Taft. I don't know what I'm flying into. And I'm also getting at cloud seeding level, so Dad, you're right. I'm gonna descend a bit to 4,000. Man, this is quite challenging. Yeah. Let's descend a bit. Watch that airspeed. Okay. I should look up how to do those clearing turns. I guess just doing your a very small kind of turn here and look at underneath your wing isn't enough. But still. I don't see any traffic. We're now at 4,500. Let's make a steep turn to the left, which should be on this mark, I guess. That's a steep turn. This is a 30-degree turn, that's a standard rate turn, and this is a 60-degree turn. So this is going to be really, really steep, and I need to make that coordinated and keep it on altitude. So, guys, here we go. Okay, right rudder, a little bit of right rudder. I'm assuming that everything is clear. Keep in that turn and pull on that nose. There we go. Pull on that nose, pull on that nose. No, it should be around here. I guess this is a steep turn. A little bit more further and I'm absolutely vertical. Oh, I'm climbing. Let's keep it on 4,500. Come on. Oh. Watch that speed.
Going up.
Watch that speed. There we are. There we are. And keep it level now, Tim. Keep it level, keep it level, keep it level. Pull on that yoke. So far, So good, watching that speed because we're a little bit too fast. We should be at maneuver speed. Not that bad. Let's make a turn to the right. So coordinated turn. Right. No, much too much rudder adjustment. Coordinated turns is also something that I need to practice. There we go. Other side. Remove that right rudder.
The ball is in the center, so.
Yeah,
No,
but
it's
not when I
yeah.
left the turn. It was all over the place. So
Okay.
it's a little bit difficult for me to know how much rudder I should put in. Good. Not bad at all. Man, this is a steep turn. It's called that for a reason, I guess.
A lot of G's.
Yeah. But I'm not doing that bad. I love the shadows coming in the cockpit, by the way. Yeah. Okay, cool. And let's get out of that steep turn. There we are. Okay, cool. What's our heading? To the east, so we're flying towards Bakersfield, and Taft should be behind us, I guess. Let's make a turn again. Oh. Okay, so we did steep turns, we did a power on stall. Well, not really a stall, really. We just did slow flight on with full power. Let's do a power off stall. So really a stall, because we didn't do that. Where is Taft? There's Taft. Yeah, and there is the lake. Just beneath us, I guess. Yeah, in front of us. Okay, so power back, idle. And let's keep it here on level. So the nose should be pitched up as our speed. I can hear the rain. There it goes. There it goes. There it goes. Pull on the yoke, pull on the yoke. Yeah, there's a stall warning. Pull on that yoke, pull on that yoke. And there she goes. Wow. Oh, and full power first before we get into a spin. There we are. Yeah, so I did. It's pitching down, throttle, and then you pull on the yoke again. So again, throttle back. Speed, bleed off. Well, let's keep it here at this altitude. There it goes. 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 And there it falls. Nose down. Power. Nope. No, it always went into a spin, but you need to use your rudders to avoid that. Now what I would like to do is slow flight. Not power on like we did in that weird kind of climb setting, but now with flaps and everything. So it's actually a flare, a controlled flare for a long time, high up in the air. Let me make a turn to head to Taft again. Okay. There we go, there we go, there we go, there we go, there we go. Let me see. Where is Taft? I guess it's on the right side here. Yeah, it's on the right. Okay.
Is it wise, Tim, when you changed the flight plan, then to look forward again on how to find the airport that you want to go to then?
I don't know what you mean. What should I do?
Well, you plan your descent and you're going back in front before you start flying.
Yeah.
And when you change your flight plan, then you should look again on what your descent should be and which airport you going to use.
Yeah, so we changed our plan. Yeah. But because it's VFR, we can be very flexible and do that real time while we're flying. Obviously, then you should be really careful to reconsider all the decisions you made previously. So you're absolutely right. Some traffic here now. I already saw it, so I'm steering away from them. What's also not a good thing that we're doing, again, is we're flying over that military airway that I already mentioned a couple of times that we should avoid, and we're just doing our practice turns exactly on top of that military airway. So that's an example of not following through in your flight plan, Dad. Not a good one. Not a good one there. Yeah, slow flight. So where is? Okay, here's that lake. Yeah. Okay. So throttle. Full flaps. Let's stay at 3,300. Throttle back. Not entirely at idle, but first notch of flaps, second notch of flaps, full flaps. Get that power in because we are not intending to stall. Wow, you need some power. Okay, that's too much power because we're now increasing in airspeed and we're also climbing. Now in slow flight you should use your rudder much more aggressively than your ailerons, because otherwise you get into spin behavior. So come on, slower, slower. Give me that stall warning. There it creeps, there it creeps. Buzz for me. There it goes, there it goes. Wow. 45 knots, still no stall warning. Come on. Come on. There it goes. So that means that the stall warning sound, obviously that oh, using rudder here to preventing spin. Oh, that was just touching on that stall warning, but I would like to hear it as a symphony of perfection.
Yeah, there it is.
Also, Dad, I'm noticing that one of our mics is buzzing. I don't know, I guess it's yours. Each time you talk, I hear it buzzing. So perhaps you should refit the microphone or try to... Zeg aan het knetteren.
Might be in the airflow.
No, it isn't. And I'm making a turn, but come on. Still no steady, stable, slow flight. Again, a little bit less RPM or power. There it is. Now, keep it there. A little bit more power. I'm descending, I'm descending, I'm descending, I'm descending. A little bit more power. Rudder, right rudder. I'm not using my ailerons at all. Now, that is a slow flight. Wow. Okay. Push down. Airspeed, throttle, and clean up. Lost about 100 feet. Oh. There we are. Flaps up. Flaps up. Flaps up. Incrementally. And there we are. Cool. Let's make a turn. Let's see where we are. My gosh. That's also something that is something that we need to take into consideration. Focusing on that slow flight distracts me of where we are. Dad, where are we?
Well, that was my question.
Oh, here's that lake again. I guess it's... this is where that military airway was. So we should see Taft. But imagine that if you would do our shared cockpit flying, then we can really collaborate, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
I will have the maps on my own PC.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. So here's that lake. But where is Taft? Is it that lake or is it another one? Okay. So I don't know where I am right now.
You can always take the outbound radial for Ebenar.
Yeah, but you don't know how low or how much south you are. So for
well, we are north of Bakersfield, I would guess.
Yeah, but if you're wrong, then we are in much more trouble. So let's see if we can deduce. There's a VOR heading to Meadows. That's makes much more sense. So that's 118.1. So let's do that. Nav 1, 118.1. 118.1? No, that's not correct. That's the control tower. Yeah, it's Shafter 115.4. 115.4. Switch. Yeah. No. Switch. That's the wrong switch. That switch. 115.4. Yeah, there it is. It's now in the from. Let's go to the. Yeah. So. Whoa, 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 whoa! It's so sensitive. No, that's from. We should go up north. Yeah, so we're really south of it. Does that make sense? 115.4. 115.4. We should go the exact opposite direction.
Where do you see 115.4?
On the sectional. Oh, sorry. Let me see. Here is 115.4 in my nav 1. And on the sectional here, I can see it over here. 115 Shafter here. 115.4.
I don't see it on the screen.
Shafter 115.4. You will in a couple of seconds because the stream is.
Oh, of course. Sorry. Yeah.
So concentrate. It's north. 3000. Let's reset to cruise. Oh, we're descending. Not great VFR weather. It's about north. So if we fly this direction, we go to Meadows. That makes sense. We see that lake here, so we can verify that too on the map. So we are currently around that lake, which is here. So we're flying that direction. Yeah. Good. Good. So that's again using PilotEdge and VFR radio navigation at the same time. So yeah, you were right, Dad. We were south of Bakersfield. Trim a bit. Wow. Well, those steep turns and slow flight were not that bad. I guess in the real world I saw some guys on YouTube also do turns in slow flight, which is something more advanced we can do next time, I guess.
The plane might get more heavy when it's raining. Does that impact the envelope as well, or not?
I don't think it's simulated in Flight Simulator, and also I don't know if the weather really gets that sticky on an airplane with these speeds. Visibility improved. So I don't think so. I guess in terms of snow or icing it does, but more importantly it disrupts the flow, the airflow around the wings. So your stall speeds and well, all that stuff then gets twisted around a lot. Let's keep on track here because I'm losing my bearing. I don't really need to fly that bearing, by the way. Or how is it called? Is it called a bearing or a? How do you call the heading that you put in on the?
Yeah.
Is
bearing?
That is that the bearing? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So I'm not flying that bearing. Yeah. Okay. So now in terms of PilotEdge, we should look outside and have an idea of where Bakersfield City is. We're now crossing that highway. The Highway 5 is now here on the left, I can already see, so that's a good sign again. I can already see some city in the distance, so that would be Bakersfield. We shouldn't fly to Meadows, we should be flying off a bit to the right. If you look at the sectional, you can see that Meadows is here, but Bakersfield is here, so we actually should fly a little bit to the south, so let's do that. And then at some point we should see Bakersfield, which is on frequency 122.8. Yeah, we're still set. Going a little bit fast. So again, I would like to do that. Was it a right? Last time we right pattern 1.6. Why did we do a right pattern last time on Bakersfield? In not the last episode, but the episodes before that, when we went from Taft to Bakersfield, we did a teardrop move. But Bakersfield 3-4 is not a right turn. It's not a right-hand traffic pattern, so that was wrong. Because I'm contemplating now how we should arrive at Bakersfield, but now we can just do a 45-degree entry for the 34 runway. So again, this might be Bakersfield. Let's do an announcement. I guess we're about west of the airport at 2,800. Bakersfield traffic, Skyline Papa Hotel Tango, iMac is about 10 miles west of the airport at 2,800, inbound for the 45 downwind, runway 34, full stop, Bakersfield. That was a good announcement, I think. Engine is good in the green, high EGT is good. Perhaps we should have opened our cowl flaps when we did our special maneuvers, because we were in high power settings, but I think I already see Bakersfield here in the distance. It's over there. Can we also see Meadows? Yeah, it's over there. So confirmed.
Are we also already getting into the before landing checklist?
Yeah, please, Dad. Yeah, go ahead.
Cowl flaps closed.
Yep. Closed.
Elevator rudder trim.
It is adjust.
Flaps.
Perhaps we should do the descent checklist, not the landing before landing, but the descent checklist. Do you also have that by hand?
Where can I find that?
The previous one, I guess.
Before landing, this is an en route descent. Is that the one?
Yeah, that's the one.
Okay. Arrival procedure brief.
Yeah, so that was what we're going to do. 45-degree angle. Yeah.
Sorry. Com radio.
Is set.
Altimeter.
Altimeter is set. Well, we should listen to ADIS. That's what we should do. But I think it's about. Yeah.
Cross check the compass.
Cross check compass. 6 check.
Heading bug.
Heading bug is set.
Power change.
Yeah, we did.
Flaps. Haven't we called? Cowl flaps closed.
Pilot heat. Pilot heat is off. It's checked.
Engine gauges
are green.
And the navigation log.
And the navigation log we don't need.
Yeah. Transponder reset.
Yeah, 1200. We're not talking with ATC, so that's good.
Landing lights on.
Landing lights on. Good one.
Strobe lights. Verify.
On. Yep. Checked.
And then tower call.
Yeah, but we don't need that.
No.
Complete?
Yep.
Complete. Okay, so now we start our descent a bit to traffic pattern altitude. 378, so 1,000, 1,400 feet, I guess. That's about right. Let me have a quick look. Yeah, 378. That's the whoa, not descent that aggressively. 3, 4. That's the traffic pattern. 1,400. So let's set it as a target. Flying a little bit to the left to get that 45-degree entry angle. And get that speed out, because I would like to enter with 1 notch of flaps. We can already listen to ADIS to get that altimeter setting.
Wind calm, visibility greater than 20 miles. Sky condition, few clouds at 3,500, ceiling 5,000, overcast. Temperature 82.7, altimeter 3.
Did you trim the elevator and
You're
rudder?
talking at the exact wrong moment to listen to the altimeter setting. Sorry, your stream lagging. I don't know. What did you say, Dad?
Elevator and trim is and rudder is trimmed.
Yeah,
already?
I was trimming already. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, thanks. Okay, let's put in 1 notch of flaps. There we are. Let's put in a little bit more nose down. Bakersfield traffic, Skyline Papa Hotel Tango, India Mike is about 2 miles west of the airport at 1600. Gonna enter the 45 left downwind runway 34, full stop Bakersfield. Again, keep on that descent. We're not at traffic pattern altitude yet.
Verify parking brakes.
Yep, they're released.
Seat and seat belts.
They are fastened.
Right.
Cool. Okay, no traffic. Other traffic that I've seen here on Bakersfield. So that's good. Go a little bit further. There is traffic pattern altitude. And let's make a turn. Put in some more power here. Thank you for the follow. I'm focused. I don't know who you are, but it's appreciated, the follow. And though that is our downwind leg. Here we are. Bakersfield traffic, Skyline Papa Hotel Tango, and Mike is on the left downwind runway 34, full stop Bakersfield. Okay, 80 knots. Okay, focus again. Reload our traffic pattern skills. 1 notch of flaps. Okay. We should have put our mixture and prop full, which we already did. Landing lights on, strobe light is on. And we are climbing. Keep on that. Yeah, I want to have my trim ready. This is about right. Okay. Get that descent already going on. Yeah, a little bit further. Again, engine looks good. Yeah, let's make our turn. Thank you for following, guys. Welcome aboard. Bakersfield traffic, Skyline Papa Hotel Tango, Mike is turning left base runway 34, full stop Bakersfield. Keep that descent going on. Okay, there is base going up, coming up. There we are. Then second notch of flaps. Should be around 80 knots right now, which is good. No other traffic around. We're not hearing anyone on the CTAF. 4 whites. Papi lights. A little bit too slow. But we can adjust our airspeed by pitching down because we're still too high. Now there's nothing wrong with being a bit too high on base, but we're too high. Let's make that turn. Bakersfield traffic, Skyline Papa Hotel Tango, India Mike is turning final, runway 34, full stop Bakersfield. 1 red. Nice and gentle turn here to final.
Flaps 20.
Yeah, I already had set flaps to 20, so when we are made the feel, so we are close enough, then we can put in full flaps. Three reds, but I don't like the glide slope here at all. I do just visually looking at the runway, I think I'm too high, so I'm ignoring the Papi lights again a bit. Well, field made, full flaps. Get to that 65 knots. Concentrate. A little bit right of the runway. Focusing on the numbers there. On my touchdown point, but then gradually moving up my focus to the end of the runway.
Middle marker.
Okay. Well, your stream lag's dead. Remember. Okay, there we go. Full. Oh, it was gentle, but too gentle. Bumpy, but not bad. We are track on center line, so flaps up. Aerodynamic braking, so pulling on the yoke. Passing delta here, going too fast. And also we need to taxi to the far end, so why use your brakes? Okay, removing that aerodynamic braking. Already set my mixture to ground. Operations. Avoiding fouled plugs. Boomflare asks Dad if you stream too. Okay, here we go. This is Echo. Getting our seat behind the threshold line. There we are. Parking brake sets. 1000 RPM. Again, make sure we already set. Transponder can be set to on. This is all set. Lights, landing lights off. Strobe lights now can be turned off. Elevator trim we can set to takeoff. Cowl flaps should be open. And that's it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. Cool.
Pilot seat was off.
Yeah, we didn't use pilot seat, so that's good.
Yeah. And ground taxi clearance.
Yeah, but we are on an uncontrolled airplane, so we don't. Did I release my parking brakes? No, I just set them. Again, I don't know whether I should taxi to the right here or on the other side. I guess this side, because the taxiway sign was faced with the back side towards me on that side. So I think I'm doing right by taxiing to the ramp on this side, on this taxiway. Okay, let's move up here. Make the turn. Let's move a little bit up. Oh, that's sloppy. Control. Where is a nice spot? Is there a nice spot, or am I... Oh, there isn't. Oh, it's just here. Is it just here? Well,
Tim Duckface says hi.
Ah, hi. Hello, Duckface. Weird name. Okay. Parking brakes are set. That's set to 1000. We've flown 1 hour. My gosh. 1 hour. Yeah, so transponder set to standby. This is all good. Then avionics can be turned off. Then we can do the magneto check. So off, on. Yeah, they are working. So mixture, aft, cut off. I'm wait until the prop stops. There it is. Ignition switch to off. Generator off. Batteries off. And then we can switch the fuel tank to one side. Let's put right this time. Cowl flaps we can close. And well, let's just open the window for next time. Open the door. And
cabin lights off.
Yeah, and we should also do. Put on the not this one, but that one. Pitot tube cover. Yeah, it's on. And the tie down and wheel chocks, and obviously also the control wheel lock. And I think that's it.
Yeah, as far as I can follow you, yeah.
Cool. Awesome. So guys, that was our practice flight. Again, a lot of things going on here. Yeah, totally misread the distance on the sectional. That's one of the biggies of this flight. So me and my dad thought, well, we'll just hop over to the north here. It seems like a quick hop. Well, it was a 40 nautical mile hop, which was far too long. It was a cross-country flight or so. So that's something that we need to take into consideration next time, to have an idea, a more practical sense of what these distances are. Another thing that I forgot again, even with my dad as my my trusty checklist co-pilot, was flight control checks. There were some other stuff that I was missing. Well, that flight control check was a very bad one. We already talked about it while taxiing, but still I forgot. And that's especially bad because that one got me killed a couple of episodes before, and this time I forgot again. Well, as I mentioned, I would update my checklist and mention killed in a vampire bloody kind of way at my flight control item here on my checklist, so that each time when I review my checklist I know that's one that I shouldn't forget about. But I didn't have the time yet this weekend on this Sunday to reprint my checklist and get that killed stamp going on. So something that I will do because I forgot about that again. And we could have crashed like we did a few episodes ago. Yeah. That's about it. Dad, do you have some remarks or comments or ideas or whatever that crossed your mind?
Small things that we might add to the checklist.
I
We can talk about that
I
later.
can't hear you really. You're in the distance.
Sorry, yeah, I had my mic on. There's some small things we could add to the checklist, but we can talk about that later.
Oh, cool. Okay. We can, and I will share with you guys in the next episode. Thank you for following. Yeah, guys, there were a couple of you who were following. Flight Sim Expert, thank you. I was so busy with flying that I couldn't watch my stream, and thank you guys. But thank you for encouraging me to keep on flying. Serious flight training and flight simulator. I really appreciate you following me. If there's anyone out you there that are watching right now who are not following, please follow, because you get an email as soon as I go live, and you can hop on board and share your suggestions, tips, or ask questions to improve your flight training experience and also mine. So please do. And I will see you next time. I don't know when I'm going to fly each and every week on Wednesday evening. That's in Zulu time measures. So at 1830 Zulu time on Wednesday, I will fly again. But if I have other time, other free time around that Wednesday, I will use that to practice my flight training, because there's a lot of stuff that I still need to master. And I cannot wait to get there. So yeah. Dad, also thank you for joining in. I think it worked great.
It was nice. Yeah,
it was really nice. So we should optimize for future flights. And also, I'm really looking forward to do shared flights with you as my co-pilot, really virtually.
Would be great, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but that's something that we can organize in some future stage of this channel. Guys, thank you so much again for being here. Let's go to the outro. See you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.
I'm passing through 500, Shamrock, 715.
715, 134.125.